Ever wonder what happens when you take something that's already rich and oaky and double down on it? Well, Woodford Reserve did just that. Double Oaked was already a hit, but this is Double Double Oaked. And now it's finally available nationwide. The real question, is it worth the $200 price tag? Stick around to find out. It's the Simple Whiskey Show.
Simple whiskey, Cyncere. Here to keep it 100. What's the ABV? Keep it simple. Simple whiskey, and be sweeter.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Simple Whiskey Show. I'm Cyncere, and tonight we're diving into Woodford Reserve Double Double Oaked, a bottle that was once a rare distillery exclusive, but now is getting its moment in the spotlight. But is more oak always better? We're breaking this bourbon down with the simple Cairn System, scoring it on nose, palate, finish, now availability and value as well, for a total of 10 Cairns max. Then we'll add a little bit of water to it and see if it holds up. But before we get started, I wanted to give a huge shout out to my boys Arthur and Scott at Artfully Bourbon for sending me this sample. Make sure you like and subscribe to their channel as well. They've been one of my favorite whiskey tubers since they started. Speaking of channel love, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications to stay up to date on all things Simple Whiskey. Let's get started. You can probably see it in my eyes that I am a Woodford Reserve Double Oaked straight up fanboy. Even with it being on the lower proof side of where I tend to drink most of my whiskeys, it's still been one of my A1 from day one sippers. While they didn't proof it up like I would have preferred, here's what we're working with. Distilled at Brown-Forman, coming in at 90.4 proof, mash bill, 72% corn, 18% rye, 10% malted barley, aged 5 to 7 years in one barrel, then up to 2 additional years in a second, heavily toasted, lightly charred barrel. MSRP on this one, $199.99. Previously only available in a 375 milliliter bottle, now upgraded to the international 700 milliliter. Availability, nationwide release, but will it actually stay on the shelves? That is the question. Let's get to sipping. Let's start with the nose. Ooh wee! Oak, and more oak. Dark caramel, burnt molasses, a little bit of a marshmallow note, and it is a funky, earthier, maybe oaky, damp wood note I get on the back end of this one. But it's deep, very heavy, and very dessert-like. So the nose for me has to be 2 out of 2 Cairns. Now let's go on for a sip. Cheers. No crazy ethanol-y punch, obviously at 90.4 proof, it's not that proofy. But I do get a lot more of that caramel on the note, maple syrup, and even the texture is almost syrupy. A lot of toasted vanilla, cinnamon, charred oak come through immediately. Mid palate brings a little bit of a dark cherry note and almost like a cola-like molassesy note. And the heavy oak influence is definitely undeniable, but I really love it. And if you love oak forward bourbons, I think this is gonna be your jam. Palate score for me, 2 out of 2 Cairns. So on the finish, again, not crazy proofy. The oak doesn't really let up, but there is a lingering chocolate note that just keeps it interesting. A little bit of clove, maybe even toasted nuts. Medium to long finish, but it does lean a little drier toward the end, but again, really good. So the finish, 1 out of 2 Cairns. As I mentioned earlier, this one was once a distillery only bottle. It is nationwide now. Be that as it may, good luck actually finding it at retail. Yes, it's now a 700 milliliter bottle as well, but the demand for this one is sky high. Expect to see this one marked up fast on the secondary. So for availability, 1 out of 2 Cairns. Value, $199.99 MSRP. For a bottle aged up to 9 years total, first and foremost, just say that. Just give it a 9-year age statement. It is a tough ask when it's may or may not be 9 years. It's rich, decadent, but at that price, does it outshine bottles like Stag or even some of the Bardstown Expressions? If you love oak forward bourbons, maybe. If you're looking for more balance, probably not. Also, $200 is pretty steep for a 90 proofer, and the fact that no definitive age is stated on the bottle, that definitely doesn't help. So value score on this one, 1 out of 2 Cairns. But before we dive into the total score, let's add a little bit of water to this to see if it opens up. Okay, so the water's been added. I'm a little nervous because it is only 90.4 proof, so this may be like just super watered down. So on the nose, some of these notes tamp down, but they do still get a little bit sweeter. I don't get the traditional caramel that I get most of the times when I add water, but let's dive in for a sip and see what we get on that palate. Cheers. That's interesting. While it does mute some of those marshmallowy notes I got before, what it also opens up is the nutty flavors that I got that were very subtle, primarily on the mid palate and even on the finish. So for my folks who like to sip their whiskey on ice, I don't think that it damages it too much. Granted, I only added 5 drops of water, not a ice cube that's constantly melting down into the liquid, but I think it's a good pour even with water added. Like I said, err on the side of caution in terms of letting it just sit as water slowly seeps into it. I'm also not sure how much this would be impacted by being chilled, because I know sometimes that can alter the flavors or lessen some of those deeper notes you get. So recommendation, if you are gonna go the water route, add a couple of drops of water into it at room temperature, not so much as chilled. But if you're a fan of chilled whiskey or whiskey on the rocks, let me know down in the comments if you've had this one with ice and what notes did you get. Total score from the new simple Cairn system. Here's where the system keeps me honest. Without it, I'd be extremely inclined to say, hey, buying back up, I love it. But when you take a deeper dive into availability, price, the numbers are just hard to justify going much higher. It also depends on how available it is to you. Heck, they may have this readily available in the distillery now still, and if you live in the area, these numbers would change a little bit. But if you're an oak head, this is right up your alley. If you prefer balance and a little bit more complexity, you may want to try this one before you buy it. And if you can get it at retail, it's worth considering. Quick reminder of the scoring tiers: 0 to 2 Cairns, pass, not today Cairn. 3 to 5 Cairns, try before you buy, ask for a sample first. 6 to 8, buy a mighty fine Cairn. 9 out of 10, buy and back up, AKA yes, Cairn. So the score on this one for me, 7 out of 10 Cairns. Absolutely a buy in my opinion at the price point of MSRP. Without the system, it would have been a buy and back up. But again, we're gonna hold true to the system so that way we have something to kind of level set us when we let our taste buds get the best of us. I'm thinking about doing something like my guys at Artfully Bourbon and taking all of them that get a buy or buy and back up and putting those in the 12 Days of Whiskey tournament that I do at the end of the year. Let me know in the comments down below if that's something you'd like to see, where I pit some of these head to head up against one another. Granted, I'd need Arthur and Scott to come through with another sample if I don't find my own bottle of this by December, but we'll hold that for a later date and figure out how I'm gonna come up with at least one more sample of this if you guys wanna see that tournament style face-off. So that's the breakdown of Woodford Reserve Double Double Oaked. But now I wanna hear from you. Have you tried this bottle? Is it worth the hype? Drop a comment down below. And if you've enjoyed this review, make sure you check out this review next. Until next time, may your glasses be full and your stories be even fuller. Keep it simple. Cheers.